these, and then full-on pressed glitters. Let me do. These are the ones that I really like. The matte with a little bit of glitter. You see that sparkle? You can see there's a few little examples. I'll show you this pink though, because and running out of fingers, this one's gorgeous. So the pink here and like glittery one, and they're just perfect for when I want to use colour eyeshadow. Super pigmented, perfect. These are all the shade names. Fantasyland, Treasure. Yeah, I literally just love them. So that's the fade into hue. Put them to the side. some of the glitters in this. I mean, this one. Boom. Beautiful. Like pink to green. But I got that one in the sale, like it was in TK Maxx. Really, really inexpensive. A lot cheaper than when I had to pay full price for these two. But that's the Huda This was super inexpensive as well, this palette. The other Bratz one is, this is like the main palette. I'm not a fan of the tin. I find it quite clunky. I just think it looks a bit cheap in the packaging. But again, you have some pretty highlighters. Really like soft. That one's beautiful. And there are some fun shades. I just don't Honestly, the glitters are amazing from this. Like super strong and glittery. But the highlighters from Kaleidos are what they're most famous for, and I use them almost every day, the highlighters. But not a big fan of the palette. This is from Beauty Bay. It is the Me, Myself and My Mama Mitchell palette. eyes just reach